Have you ever felt like you were just lucky? In Bethlehem, they don't call it luck. They call it Providence. Ruth was a stranger in a strange land, picking up leftover grain just to keep Naomi alive. But out of all the fields in Israel, she happened to end up in the one owned by Boaz. Was it a coincidence or a miracle in the making? Let's turn up the lamp and find out. Welcome back to part 2 of Ruth. The hunger was a constant ache. It isn't just a tummy growl, children. It's a hollow sound that echoes in a quiet house. Naomi was old. She was heavy with a grief that made her bones feel like lead. She had no strength left to fight the famine. So, Ruth did what any daughter of the heart would do. She didn't complain. She didn't wait for a sign in the clouds. She acted. She told Naomi, "Let me go to the fields. Let me pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Now, you must understand, gleaning was for the poorest of the poor. It was backbreaking. It was dirty. It was dangerous. You stood at the back of the line, waiting for the real workers to drop a few stalks in the dirt. Then, you would stoop, you would reach, you would hope. A son that didn't care if you were a widow or a princess beat down on your neck until your skin burned. Ruth stood at the door. Breath, fear. Go. She didn't wait for a handout. She stepped out into the heat, a stranger in a town that still whispered when she walked by. That is quiet strength. It's not a shout. It's a step forward when you are terrified. The Bible says something very interesting here. It says Ruth happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz. Now, in a world of data and logic, we might call that a statistical anomaly. We might say she just took a wrong turn at the right time. But in the story of faith, that's God directing a woman's footsteps while she's just trying to survive. The field was a sea of amber, waves of barley dancing in a hot wind. Ruth worked until her hands were blistered and her throat was thick with dust. And then the master arrived. Boaz wasn't just a rich man. He was a man of character. He didn't stay in his big house. He was in the dirt with his people. He shouted, "The Lord be with you." And the whole field roared back, "The Lord bless you." Can you hear it? That is the sound of a good place. Boaz scanned the rows of workers. He saw the regulars, he saw the elders, and then he saw her. Who? The stranger, the worker. He noticed her immediately. "Whose young woman is this?" he asked his foreman. He didn't ask what she was, a foreigner, a Moabite, or a beggar. He asked who she was. He saw her heart before he ever knew her name. Boaz did something radical. He walked right up to her. Ruth froze. She expected a scolding. She expected to be kicked out. Instead, Boaz spoke words that felt like a cool breeze on a fever. "Stay here," he said. "Don't go to any other field. My men won't touch you. When you are thirsty, drink from our water jars. When you are tired, rest." Ruth was shocked. She fell on her face, her forehead touching the dry Bethlehem soil. She asked the question we all ask when someone is kind to us for no reason. Why? Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? And Boaz's answer? Oh, children, it's the heart of the story. He told her, "I've heard everything you did for Naomi. I've seen how you left your home to be her light in the dark. May the Lord repay you. May you be richly rewarded by the God under whose wings you have come to hide." He wasn't just giving her grain, he was giving her protection. He was giving her a home. He whispered to his workers, "Drop some extra grain for her on purpose. Let her gather the good stuff. Don't make her work for the scraps anymore." He was making the path easy for her without her even knowing it. When Ruth got home, Naomi's jaw dropped. You don't get 30 pounds of grain from luck. That is a mountain of bread. Naomi asked, "Where did you glean today?" And when Ruth said the name Boaz, something in Naomi's eyes, that light we thought went out in part 1, finally flickered back to life. She whispered, "The Lord has not abandoned his kindness. That man, he is a close relative. He is one of our redeemers." You see, children, sometimes we feel like Ruth. Maybe you are the new kid at school. Maybe you feel like an outsider, or you're carrying a worry that feels too heavy for your shoulders. You think nobody sees you being kind when others are mean. You think nobody sees your quiet strength. But listen to Lola. Nothing is wasted. Ruth thought she was just working for bread. She didn't know she was walking into her future. You aren't just happening to be where you are. You are being led. Every step is a thread in a beautiful tapestry. The harvest has begun, but the story is far from over. A field is one thing, but a threshing floor? That's where things get complicated. That is where Ruth must make a choice that will change history forever. But that is a story for tomorrow. Lay your heads down now. Feel the weight of the blankets. Good night, little ones. Sleep well.